This week on Not Another Shooting Show.
Just because you're 6'9", I don't believe that.
AKs are fun guns because everything kerchunks and makes loud machine noises.
There's Minnesota nice. There's Nebraska whatever.
Yeah,
He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show. Wait, I said that too much like a radio. That was like radio voice. I shouldn't have done that, should I?
I mean, you've only been doing it for 20 years. Hard habit.
How dare I sound in a way that sounds like an actual announcer would? Just talk. Here, I'll do it. I'll do it over. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show.
Now it sounds morbid, like you're about to announce like one of us died.
Now it sounds like one of those murder porn podcasts that people listen to.
Ooh.
That are done by completely amateur ass people who make way more money on their podcasts than we do.
I was about to say, a new audience that we can appeal to.
Yeah. Fuck those people. Anyway, no. How about energy? How about, we had a thread on the USPSA sub and a guy said, I'd like your show better if you just talked normal and didn't use weird radio voices. Okay. Anyway, we go to Charlotte, North Carolina, where, that's a different story. Shit. Where's the story I wanted? I completely fucked up this intro. I'm so tired after my hunting trip. Fuck it, let's do it. A couple went to the Charlotte airport, and they lost $4,000 worth of Glock.
Ugh. So they lose like 12 of them?
Nope, just two. Just
Jesus.
two. One's a pretty normal-looking Glock, by and large. Stock frame, Zev slide, and barrel, looks like. The other one was built under the premise of how much can we possibly make a Glock cost. It was a custom job, I assume, by Noveski. I didn't know they customized Glocks, but their name is lasered on the side.
If they want enough money, they'll do anything.
Yeah, it's got a camo Cerakote job. It's got some kind of light on it. It's got a threaded barrel. And it's got an acro on it. So
Yep.
if we can possibly make it, I'm looking for an option to make it cost more. Maybe hard chrome on the slide instead of Cerakote. That's about the only thing left.
Hard chrome barrel.
Yeah.
With an actual comp. But
Yeah.
maybe
Oh,
just
yeah. They don't have comps on either one. They're both comp ready, but no
Yep.
comps. I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or have your suppressor on it. Like go big or go home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I outside of a giggle switch, not really much more you can do to that gun.
Chelsea Simone, she said she and her husband flew home to Boston from Charlotte on a Delta flight Monday night after helping with Hurricane Helene efforts in western North Carolina. They said they checked a TSA-approved gun case with locks carrying 2 customized handguns. However, when they arrived in Boston and went to retrieve their case, the locks were missing and both guns were gone. Oops.
Yep.
That's a bummer. This never happens, does it? I haven't heard of that happening.
I've never heard of it happening. Like because like the airport is a fairly well regulated like space. I would hope or assume. So it's like they should be able to be like, these are the X number of people that were there. This is the path that case took. Like this is where someone would have got some like bolt cutters and cut the locks off. But it does go back to a very good point of don't bring tools with you that you aren't afraid of losing.
Well, people fly to matches with open guns.
They do 100%. But I mean, it, like you said, I've never heard of this happening like this and so for this to happen, it's remarkable. And the one, I mean, they're going to get the TSA and the ATF involved in this because I don't know. I feel like that's what
it's got to be on camera somewhere.
Right. So hopefully, I mean, before those organizations get shut down, that they'll be able to help them.
Yeah. Now we go to Jackson County, Michigan, the story I meant to start off with, but I had the wrong tab open. Michigan man allegedly wanted for probation. Excuse me, probation violation. Allegedly attempted to flee from police when they came to arrest him before accidentally shooting himself in the hand while being tased by the police. Oh, by the way, he was fleeing on a lawnmower.
Beautiful.
He's now facing several felony charges, including assault with intent to murder, felony firearm, and resisting and obstructing. Well done. Well
Beautiful.
Done, sir. There's other news. SIG is it's the gift that keeps on giving. Like, it just keeps making more and more gravy, and Thanksgiving's coming up, and I am here for all that gravy. Last week, a Philadelphia jury awarded $11 million to a man whose holstered Sig Sauer pistol went off by itself when he was going down the stairs, causing a serious leg injury. The second major verdict this year against the embattled gun manufacturer over its P320 model. This from The Guardian. After a 3-week trial, the jury concluded that the New Hampshire-based Sig Sauer was negligent for selling a defective gun and holster. The plaintiff's lawyers said the P320 pistol is prone to going off without the trigger being pulled. But wait, it's the holster. It's the holster. It was their holster this time. Defect that has led to scores of injuries around the U.S. So, it says the jury verdict, according to the plaintiff's lawyer, said it sends a strong message to Sig Sauer. They need to do something with this gun. You think?
After what? We're in year like 8 of this going on or something like that. You would think they would have done something by now.
Yeah. The one of the quotes in the story also is it asserts the lawsuit asserted that the P320 is, quote, the most dangerous pistol for its users sold in the United States market.
That is a hell of a statement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you're above the like pop metal bullshit that people sell for like $100.
I haven't heard of a high power, or not high power, a high point. High points aren't popping people in the legs when they're just walking around with them in their sweatpants.
Right. Those never get put in holsters.
No. Now, this guy, I will say, he put it in a holster and then put it in the zip pocket of his sweatpants. So, it's the one thing in the story where I'm kind of like, okay. But
yeah, again, I have to see it because I wear sweats a lot, and so I'm like, my brain is like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, so there's that little tidbit of news. I just got back 5 hours ago from deer hunting in the Black Hills, and it was a successful trip. I came back with meat.
Yeah.
I was gonna be picky on the first day. Was waiting for a bigger buck if possible, and then after the first day, I only saw 2 deer in the morning and didn't really see much of anything the rest of the day, except a herd of 200 elk. I did see that. That was fucking amazing. Oh, my God. When I was done hunting in the evening, it was after sundown. It was after shooting light, but there was still just enough ambient light where I'm like, well, that's a lot of cows. There's not cows. Like, ranchers will lease grazing land in the national forest for, like during the year, but they have to have them out by like October sometime. I think they have to have them out of there. And so I'm like, are those cows? And I'm looking at my Onyx map. Oh, that is private land over there, but like there's some of them over here. And then I pull out my binos and look, and they're all elk. I'm like, oh wow, that's awesome. It's not something you see every day. And then I'm like, holy shit, there's like, I'm trying to count them. There's like at least 100 here. Damn, that's really cool. Then I keep driving down the road, and there were trees blocking the rest of them. There were at least 200 in this herd. It was just unbelievable.
Nice.
Never seen that before. But yeah, so no, yesterday morning I did smart hunting stuff. I walked in from the right direction because the wind was out of the southwest, so I approached from the southeast, and I got into the spot where I thought it was going to be the best, and then I just hunkered down. And then all of a sudden, 70 yards in front of me, 2 does got up out of their beds and started walking around. And the biggest one gave me a shot. Here was the tricky part. So deer don't see detail, but they see movement really well. And so when I was looking and I took my binos down, and then when I brought them back up again, then the deer's looking at me because they saw me move the binos. So it's like, shit, I have to be a statue until they look away. Be a statue. Okay, they finally look away. Now I'm sitting in a spot where I can't really use my bipod. It's on the rifle, but I can't use it because there are bushes around me that are too tall. And someone's already going to say, why don't you have some shooting sticks? Because I don't like shooting sticks because I don't hunt in a place where the shrubbery is usually that tall. But every 2 to 4 years, I hunt in the Black Hills where the shrubbery is that tall. So it kind of sucks. So I end up having to shoot offhand while kneeling. And my arm got really tired trying to hold it on there, like waiting for it to come out from behind the tree to give me their chest. Like, come on. It's like, my arm is dying here. Come on. And finally, I had to just lower it because my arm was out of gas. Yep. It was not happening. So I'm just like, oh, relax. Bringing it back up. And then finally the shot's there. And it's not very often shooting at deer where I actually like press the trigger now. You know, kind of like when you're shooting a target in a USPSA match. It's like, now I'm pressing the trigger. And I called the shot a little high in the shoulder. It was still in the shoulder, but, you know, my rifle was wiggling a little bit. And it was a little high in the shoulder. It dropped immediately. And it became very clear immediately that it was not a fatal shot. When I gutted it, I found I never found the exit wound because I ended up having to finish it off with a pistol, and because it was paralyzed and it was not really bleeding, or like back legs aren't moving and its front legs, it was like going in a circle, and I hate that. I hate it. Yep. So I ran over there as fast as I could. I did put ear protection in because the rifle was suppressed and the pistol was not. And so on the way there, I put in the earplugs and then shoot it right in the breadbasket with the 10 millimeter gold dots. And that was highly effective. Got it open, and the one lung was it was like a balloon exploded. No, gold dots at 6 feet, that's pretty devastating. Really devastating. It left a big hole coming out. And I think the exit hole of the pistol bullet actually hit the exit wound of the rifle bullet, because I never really saw a second hole. So the entrance wound was real tiny with that 6 millimeter copper bullet, and the exit wound was... I don't like them. Didn't like the copper bullet because I've hit deer like that before and they dropped and died right away because the shock wave of the softer lead bullet did more damage. It caused trauma to the lungs. I think I missed the lungs completely with the first shot. It was just enough to shock the spinal cord. Yep. And it dropped, and that's the first time I've had a deer. I've had them go down right away and they're twitching, like, but they're not doing... This one was like actively trying to get up and run away. Right. And, oh God, it was just sickening. I fucking hated it. So I'm done with copper bullets. They require perfection. And now I will freely admit, I probably shouldn't have taken that shot, honestly. You know, it actually, as an ethical hunter, it bothered me. I mean, it was only like 70 yards. It was not a long shot. That is a shot I have made perfectly offhand with a rifle before. So, but it was just a little bit high, and that bullet didn't open and didn't do the damage that... Also, it was a 6 millimeter cooking at like 3,100 feet a second, but Yeah, I'm going back to lead because it expands. It does the damage.
Old is new again.
Yep, old is new. But at least now I know. I won't wonder about it anymore. But I know there's people who swear by copper bullets.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It requires perfection. You have to have a perfect shot for them to work properly. So, and yeah, gold dots. They, I don't want to get shot by a gold dot at 6 feet, especially one going 1,300 feet a second that weighs 165 grains. That was rather. That was the other thing that was sort of weird. I'd never had to do that before, like walk up to an animal and finish it off.
Okay.
And, and that was a little, I don't know, mildly shocking to actually like be staring at it and then, shooting a pistol, something I do all the time.
Yeah.
And I watch holes show up and stuff all the time. And that bullet, it left a poof in the entrance wound of the fur. Like you could see in the fur exactly where it hit.
Yep.
Very, very evidently. Whereas the rifle bullet, you couldn't tell.
Right.
At all. So,
yeah,
but
go ahead. That's kind of one of those psychological things that they talk about, especially with different forms of warfare, is the idea of like how detached you can be, say, with your 100-yard shot versus your 6-foot shot.
I've never seen a bullet strike a deer before because the scope has moved at the moment that happens, and so I've never really. And all of the longer shots that I've taken that were like 300 plus yards, that was always with a 30-06. So the gun really moved. It wasn't just a little tink with the 6mm, but
right.
No, it was just it was a learning experience. And it's when you're killing stuff, it's not always perfect. Sometimes it's kind of ugly. I think of myself as an ethical hunter, and I want to do things the right way. And sometimes there's just, stuff happens, and I'm not perfect, and that was definitely not a perfect shot. But I did a perfect job gutting it. I didn't poke the gut bag. I didn't have shit everywhere. When I was actually, there comes a point where you're just like grabbing onto the esophagus and you're just ripping them right out, right off of their spine. And when I was doing that, it did kind of poke bowel, and immediately I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, it's not good. And while I'm doing that, I'm like, I'm having fun. I'm having so much fun.
I'm having fun.
My hands are in the guts of this deer. I'm having so much fun. And then I'm dragging it out. Luckily, I only had to drag it a total of about 800, 900 yards or something like that. A little over a half mile. But most of it was downhill, so it wasn't too bad. But
yep.
Got a lot of walking in. It was fun. Hung out with Brucey a couple of times on the trip because I was able to sneak out of work early on Thursday. So stopped in Rapid, went out to dinner with him, and then he met me in Deadwood with another couple of shooting buddies that they were also out there hunting. So we went to Deadwood and had some supper, and then we went running around wintertime. Slow Deadwood. It's kind of a fun hang because there's not shitloads of people everywhere, but
right.
There's some cool bars there. Like we were sitting in this really fancy bar in the upstairs that's off of Main Street, like a block or a couple blocks actually, but it's like big city kind of fancy bar, but no whiskey. They just had wine and beer. I was a little bummed by that. Yeah.
How are you in Deadwood, South Dakota?
There's only so many liquor licenses in every county.
Oh, that's dumb.
I know. It's like the worst thing about the liquor laws in South Dakota is that. So there are some. We went to this really cool bar that had it was a cigar. It's called the Cigar Bar or something like that, and they had this cool blues band playing. And we go up to the bar, and again, it's only wine and beer. I'm like, son of a bitch, I want some whiskey. And so we finally end up at the Saloon Number 10 and had some Weller's 12-year, I think it was. That was solid. Anyway,
nice.
You pissed off comp boys.
Yeah, so I've been bored lately, and so I've been on Reddit way too much. And some dude posted in like the RCCW forum, why don't we comp every gun? And I said, what I thought was a pretty just kind of blasé statement of like, they make guns less reliable. And I kick the hornet's nest.
Do they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So part of it is they take some of the energy from the gun going off, and you have to mess with the springs to get the gun to run right once you add a comp to it.
But that's just gas that's going out the front end anyway. Why would that matter? I'm just trying to. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just like trying to understand it.
It's partially I might be wrong on this, but there's part of it is that the gas is not acting the way, like it's not just going straight out of the gun, and there's also an added weight on the front of the gun that can mess with I don't want to say harmonics, but it's kind of the balance of the system.
I was listening to the Hornady podcast last week, and a guy who developed like every kind of ammunition you can think of for the military. Like, he very firmly said, harmonics is not a thing.
Yeah, I can. I mean,
but
I can see it. Balance is probably the best. Like,
I don't know what he was talking about. I was half paying attention, but anyway.
But yeah, and once the hive mind has been engaged, there's nothing that can like. At one point, some dude's like, "Oh, you're probably some noob that only plays like video games," and I'm like, "Dude, I've probably seen 1 million rounds of ammunition fired in the last 8 years between all the matches and practice and all this shit. Like, I mean, alone I've fired like 60 to 70,000 rounds, and it's like, nope, I'm pretty well versed in this. And then like I try to be like, oh, I've seen staccatos go down, I've seen glockenspiels go down, I've seen infinities and atlases and everything under the sun. I've seen every gun break at this point, regardless of like how legendary quality they are.
Yeah.
But like once the hive mind is engaged, you can't break it. And so I was getting, well, my Radian comped Glock I fired 2,000 rounds through it, and I've never had an issue.
No, I've 500 through mine, no problem.
Right. And I was like, okay, but like, and then they start blaming the competition shooters because like, oh, they're probably race tuned and blah 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 blah, and I'm like,
well, that is a thing, that is a factor, 100%. When they go down, it's like tuning of guns makes them less reliable, just like anything.
But going back to what I just said, you have to tune them if you put a comp on them,
right,
or else they don't work. And so it's like, I guess they're slightly tuned, but I've also shot open guns that came from the gunsmith as open guns and put ammunition in them and then couldn't get them to run because I know nothing about and how to get a gun to run properly. So it was.
Well, Google AI says you may need to tune a pistol with a compensator.
Okay, the AI I bow to my AI overlords at all times.
Yeah,
'cause I know Skynet's listening to me.
Of course they are.
So, but yeah, so it's this weird trend that we're going through where every company is coming out with a compensated gun of some sort, and everyone's putting. I saw some dude he had a Staccato XC, and he had I think it's the Staccato P is the full size one. I don't know. Whatever the full size.
No, I think the P is the. I don't know. I have no idea.
Whatever it is, he put a attach on comp onto it, like a slide or a rail mounted one. So when instead of putting a light on it, he put this like wannabe comp on it, and so he was jerking off about how awesome they compared to each other. And I was like, you just spent like $4,200 on a gun. Like, have you tried shooting that? Like. At all, because this seems excessive.
Like, if I would have seen that, I would have just said, I wouldn't have said what you said. I would have said, why? It's all just 9mm.
Yeah, that's.
I fancy myself a new sort of obsessed 10mm shooter, and if you're gonna put a compensator on something, that's worth compensating. That thing kicks when it goes off. Like it's snappy. especially when you got them pushing up into the 1,300 feet per second. But 9mm, I mean, there are some guns that just, because of how they recoil, kind of hurt. Not hurt, but they punch you more. But nah, fuck comps. I don't care about comps at all. I forgot to mention while I was talking about my hunting trip, have you heard of the phenomenon where after you shoot and gut a deer, that your farts will then smell like deer guts?
No.
They do. It's a thing.
What?
Now, it's a psychological thing. It's not actually real.
Oh, okay.
But it's an interesting phenomenon. It's like your brain is like tricked into thinking there's something in the smell of the fart that is akin to the interior. I mean, it's, I don't know, air from the inside of an animal. So I can't explain it. There's even a Meat Eater did an article on it like 5 years ago about after field dressing your kill, your gas will start to smell like animal organs within 24 hours. And as soon as I'm in the truck driving away, I honk one off. It smells just like deer guts.
That's fascinating.
It is incredibly weird.
And so it's a placebo effect.
It
so
is. It's a mental thing. Like the chemical makeup of my gas did not suddenly become that of the deer.
Right. And
It's just a psychological thing. Your brain is associating it. In some weird way.
That's super interesting.
Yeah. This Meat Eater article, actually, they talked to a gastroenterologist. And what you eat is 100% of product, or what you eat causes what your farts smell like. For instance, I ate Mountain House, and that causes some weird stuff to happen with farts. Like, all of a sudden, it's just Mountain House farts. Doesn't matter which Mountain House freeze-dried food you eat. It's just all the farts smell like Mountain House, and I can't explain it. It's a weird thing. I don't know what it is, but I also got, somebody had said you should try the Peak ones. Those are good, and I'm sure they are, but they're also like another $5 more than those are, and I'm a tightwad. But anyway, so yeah, it's a weird thing. Your farts will kind of smell like deer guts. But
Interesting.
Yep. All right. There was a guy who sent in or on Reddit, our Reddit, NASS, NASS on Reddit, stage submission for Area 3. It was a video he found on Instagram, and it's awesome. They're in a boat. They're hauling ass across either a Great Lake or an ocean, and they are shooting at big balloons on the water. This looks like something out of Top Shot. They're hauling ass. Guy's got a dot on, I can't tell what pistol it is. It's bouncing around too much, and he's hitting some and missing some, and it looks awesome. If we had an ocean in Area 3, I don't know. There's nothing in the rules that says you can't have a stage on the water. Is there?
I'm not the rule Nazi.
The video is very cool though. That's on our Reddit. You can go check that out. Let's see. What else have we got here? There was a story about a Wyoming duck hunter. Oh, go away, pop-ups. I hate that. A 20-year-old guy in Wyoming is asking a judge to dismiss his case after the fatal shooting of his friend. Happened January 20th of this year. If he's tried and convicted, it could get him involuntary manslaughter and 20 years in prison. So basically, what the argument is that it was reckless because he didn't handle the firearm correctly, and that it was reckless when he shot the other guy. Hunkered down in a man-made driftwood blind on the Platte River. The guy who was shot was not a licensed hunter. He went with the other two guys that day to learn about duck hunting. And the guy who was being charged, he failed to properly and safely clear his weapon of malfunctions, and by having it pointed in an unsafe direction when it discharged, directly led to and caused the death of Maurizio Justiniano in the charging document. Yeah, it's a bad deal. Like when an accident happens like this, I'm always torn because sure the law says this, but yeah, I guess that's what it says.
Right. Well, it's the grand conversation. Is the law there to punish so that you never do it again? Because, like, I guarantee you, this dude's never doing that shit again.
Well, and it's like this isn't a law that is preventative. You know,
right? It's punitive.
Like if you commit premeditated murder, like first-degree murder, you, depending on the state you're in, you will either spend all of the rest of your life in prison or you will be killed yourself.
Right.
So that's actually sort of incentive to not do it. A lot of drug dealing sentences are really, really long and punitive, sort of incentivizing not doing it. But in this case, it's just sort of punishing someone who's already going to be punishing themselves for the rest of their life. And, but it's also keep your shit pointed in the right direction when you have a malfunction.
Right. He did kill a guy.
Like point it anywhere except at the guy.
Yeah.
You know, like straight down. Okay, that could be a problem too, but you know, but not directly at another person in the blind with you. But
right. So yeah, it's unfortunate, and it's crazy to me as a non-hunter and as someone who but shoots a lot, is like how many shooting accidents there are every hunting season.
Oh, there's a lot. There's when the pheasant season opens here in South Dakota, there's always a few. I've talked to people that work in the ER, and that's but not uncommon at all.
And it's also not uncommon for people to use accidents while hunting as ways to get away with murders.
Well,
there was a guy that he tried to say that the guy was assaulted by a bear, or like a bear attacked them, and then when they found the body, they found a bullet hole, and they're like, no. So.
What is the? Oh yeah, the Murdaugh Murders, a Southern Scandal on Netflix. I guess that wasn't. Oh no, it wasn't necessarily like they weren't trying to blame that on a hunting thing. Never mind. Have you seen that? That's pretty good.
I haven't seen that one. My brain is going back to, I think we talked about it before. My buddy Nolan sent me one of the only mass shooting during a hunting incident.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it's one of those things. Like I always tell my dad, because my dad lives in hunting country, and I'm just like, hey, make sure to be polite to everyone you're dealing with. Like even if they're being dumb, like be polite.
Yeah, for the most part, that's not an issue. But that one guy that happened, there was one in Minnesota. I don't know if it was a mass shooting, but there's been several weird things that have happened. Yeah. Anyway, moving over to Reddit. We posted on there on the USPSA, NAS thread question on the USPSA sub. Thoughts on PCSL?
I'm still against. Like, I shouldn't say against. It's just it doesn't. I don't think it does anything special. I think it the few rules it does differently than USPSA, I don't think are net positive. I don't think the K zone's a net positive. I don't think shoot throughs are net positive. I don't think the target shape is a net positive. The divisions are meh. I don't think it having a rifle thing. We run rifle hit factor matches based off of USPSA PCC like handling rules and everything, and it seems to run fine. So I don't know. It's probably good that there's a secondary option in case USPSA wants to be dumb again. But like, if a match being a PCSL match discourages me from going.
My thoughts on PCSL. I think it's fine. If you like it, go shoot it. I like the target. I think the K zone's fun, even though no one ever has the balls to just shoot one round at it.
And
Yeah.
The A zone goes all the way to the top.
And the target there, you have A zone all the way to the edge in the head. That should be K and C in the head. No A zone. I think. Sorry, that was a little bit of a burp there. What else was there? This guy had 3 questions. This is one I hear. The second one was the one I'm thinking of. The first one, do you think we will see USPSA moving towards having all divisions have optics?
No.
Earlier this year, we had a survey for single stack and revolver being allowed to have optics. Not single stack, it was limited 10. I will just straight up say I'm not. No, it won't. Because I don't think it needs to. But they did the surveys, and the revolver survey came back. Even more people were willing to add optics to revolver than limited 10. And it makes no sense to me, but like literally anyone can vote in that survey. And we even got some statistical breakdowns of like, hey, there's so many of these people had a classification in revolver. Okay, so they have a classification. Does that mean they actually shoot revolver? No. Lots of people have a classification and don't shoot a division.
Right.
I haven't shot production since 2021. And that's the only year I've ever shot it. I'm not going to vote in favor of changing it for revolver because guys who care about it and go to nationals and shoot it don't want it. And I think 90% of the people who in the survey said that yeah, let's do it. I don't think anything's harmed by leaving it alone.
Right.
I'm going to vote no on everything when it comes to that. As far as L10 goes, why the fuck not? I mean, it actually has a chance of becoming interesting because limited optics is not going to get major. Brian, give it up. No one's going to do fucking major. We're not going to do major in limited optics. That's not going to be a thing. But if you want to eat up your 40 ammo, like I've got a can of 1,000 rounds still from when I shot limited, shoot L10 with an optic, major. Okay, that's kind of that could be fun. I would do that.
It'd be something different,
especially if a few people start doing it. Like that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, it could be a good like off-season like special thing or
after carry optics in June is over, then we shoot L10 with optics, and that would be kind of fun with major power factor.
I think one of the things for me with do all divisions need optics, and it's like no, I think we have too many divisions anyways, but like a single stack is literally built to be it's built around the idea of an iron-sighted 1911 with 7-round mags,
right,
and one in the chamber. Like that's what it's built around. In no way, shape, or form does that include optic. Revolver?
No, 8+1.
Well, it's become 8+1. It
used to be 7.
It used to be 7. That's why all arrays used to either have to be 6 rounds or 8 rounds, and it was because of revolver and single stack.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's an over like, hey, this worked in this one division, let's go add it to the other divisions. When it's like, no, it works in that division, so let that division be the one that it works for. Like, I'm actually with the existence of limited optics, you can shoot your 1911 in limited optics. You can shoot your revolver in limited optics. You can.
Yeah.
You don't need your own division. If you want to do something fun, you're welcome to do it. We don't need to make a division for every single person's like little niche that they think needs its own division. We don't have enough people in the sport for that.
Do you think USPSA will try to differentiate CO and LO? Some rumors I've heard is they're thinking of lowering CO max weight or having CO have a 15-round mag limit. Well, I've heard suggestions of changing it to 15 rounds. I don't remember hearing anything about the weight in any official way. Here's the thing with that. What's the most popular division in USPSA?
CO.
Why would you fuck with it?
Correct. I have another side to it is in the hit factor rules, we did that. We had a 15 round optics division and we had a 140 millimeter optics division. The 15 round division was barely shot at all by anyone. And when
That's how I got a trophy at Great Plains, because I shot like shit and still got third.
Yep. And those who did shoot it went, yeah, it's one more reload.
Yeah.
Like, because I was on. I mean, you can listen to old ones of these and find me saying, yeah, we should have a 15 round mag limit. Da, 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 da.
It sounds like a good idea until it was actually in practice, and now I think 15 rounds in production is dumb.
Yep. I'm kind of at the point, like, just load up the mags, tell people, like, it would be easier to be like, hey, you need to do 2 reloads from the start to the finish, but with 5 rounds between each reload, blah 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 blah, whatever, to like force people to have to plan more, or just make it like, hey, shoot it how you shoot it. End of equation. Because
here's how I see this going down, and I will even speak as a board member when it comes to this. The number one thing I hear is people have already got their guns set up for these divisions as they are. Just let it be. Just let it happen. I have not had a lot of people reaching out saying, we should really make it different. I mean, people want it to be different, but no one's got a great idea how to make it different. What fucked it up from the beginning was when they made LO a thing. That was Correct. The wrong move. They should have just added single action to CO. But there's a list. Well, it's got to be on the list. Then remove the list from Carry Optics. Okay? Carry Optics is not a production division, obviously, because we have thumb rests that shouldn't be on guns per the rules, but someone decided, well, it's a different part doing a different thing. It's fine. Okay. So we have open guns in CO, basically, without comps and frame-mounted optics. Whatever. Okay. It's already not anywhere near that. It should have just been, let's add single-action guns to CO, get rid of the list for CO, and let CO be the kick-ass division that it is. Because I've said before, CO is a weird hybrid division. It didn't follow production to the letter. It got altered from that. It added capacity and 9mm and a dot. And all of a sudden, this is awesome. We like this a lot. And then some other rulings bastardized it and made it weird. But everybody loves it. So why would you kill... It's the only division that has had its own nationals in the last, 7-8 years. Why would you change it?
Right.
It's just, no one can give me a compelling reason to do that other than, well, we want it to be more different than LO. Okay, well, I want $1 million. Or as the grandpa in Grumpy Old Men said, well, you can wish in one hand and crap in the other and see which gets filled first. So, yeah. What do I think of USPSA suspending the 23 and 24 series classifiers? I think I had a great idea.
Yeah.
Because they were affecting classifications, and
it was the right thing to do. We run into it a lot, and I mean all over the world. Is that sometimes you're like, oh man, that idea's not working like I thought it would, so abandon the idea. It's okay to be like, hey, this isn't working. We're going to put a pause
let's back
on
off.
It.
Yep. No, 100%. And I mean, people are like in the Reddit. People were like, "Oh, Jake's math happened. That's the problem." Well, okay, no one's saying how he nutted the 22s. Like they were perfect out of the gate when those got released. So, yeah, the 23s were too low and the 24s were too high, and so collect more data. You can still shoot those stages. You don't get charged for them as classifiers in activity fee, and it still collects data. So,
right.
If you keep shooting them clubs, then it'll get fixed. But yeah,
and again, it's don't shit on people for trying new things. Shit on them when they won't try to correct it. And sitting down and correcting it is a net positive. everyone should be clapping and golf clapping for this because it was the right move when you're like, ooh, yeah, this is not working like we intended. When Christian Seiler, the national champion, shot a 93% on one of them, you're like, oh, that's why no one's got a GM class run on one.
This is another question. With more and more states passing mag cap laws, do you think we'll ever see a high or low cap option added to each division? No, because there's already a provision in the rules that if you're in a state where you can't have that many, then it's whatever the state law is.
Right. At best, it should just be like a category. Like, oh, hey, this is we do the 10 rounds so that maybe, but on the flip side, I don't know what he's talking about because more gun laws are being overturned by state or by judges.
I think there was a state that added a capacity reduction in this election, I think, and I don't know what it was though. I remember hearing about it, but I could be wrong. Can we get hashtag crotch optics trending and added to LOCO? Well, they're already allowed. You can already carry appendix in those divisions. Careful you don't DQ yourself. Essentially, if you run from AIWB, you get major scoring. So you get major scoring just because of that? Fuck no. No, that'd be a huge advantage. No, that's a terrible idea.
And the amount of I very much disagree with major minor scoring at this point. Like minor scoring is the superior way to show what we're looking for, accuracy under speed. Like major power factor, I'm not a fan. The best argument I've heard for it is it's a good comparison of iron sights versus optics. Is when it's like, okay, that's kind of it keeps the scores close enough by giving the iron sights a leg up to compete with the optics boys. But yeah, I don't.
Well, that's like limited. When you saw guys like the studs in limited and the studs in CO are kind for a while there when CO was newer, they were kind of in the same area, just because the optics sort of makes up for the difference in
the points,
in hit factor. But I don't know. I don't want to. I mean, the three legs of practical shooting, USPSA, is accuracy, power, and speed. Now, the power part, it seems to be something people aren't really all that interested in.
Yeah, because I mean, I would be more along the lines of, hey, let's bump minor power factor up to like 130 power factor.
I would be way more in favor of that.
Right, because
like minimum for minor up to 130 or 35. You think?
I would say minimum 130 because everyone knows you give 8 power factor grace in case you're off and you're reloading. Because like the mouse fart 125s that can barely run the guns, like fuck them. And so I'd be more in tune with that than dealing with major power factor. And it's like another question someone asked was if with LO will major become a thing and will 40 dominate or 9mm? And someone
I skipped over that one on purpose because we already kind of talked about that. But
okay, but it's like one of the things I think that held the reason production was popular was because limited sucked because you had to shoot 40. Mm-hmm. Like people were like, oh, everyone loved the stage planning. No, they didn't. They really didn't. They were like, I want a 9mm iron sight gun and I don't want to mess with major power factor. I don't want to mess with open guns. I don't want to mess with 40. So that just left me production. And so keeping it that way will keep it popular. The second you make LO 40 caliber required,
you require everyone to have a 40 gun.
Everyone will, and they'll just all go back to CO, and then they'll be like, can we just put single action guns in CO instead of and so it's like,
hey, maybe that's how we fix it.
Yep. Actually, yes, good idea. We're
actually
turning LO
now
to 40.
Now that we've kind of walked through this thought process, I'm officially now in favor of major in limited optics. Because then we can roll the single actions into CO because people will not shoot because they don't want to shoot 40 because brass is too expensive and hard to find now.
And because no police departments use it. And then you'll have to take your magwell off. And I guess you can keep your thumb rest. And boom, you got a CO gun anyway.
Yes, you can keep your thumb rest. I went and looked at what my power factor was shooting factory 115 Blazer at Free State. And I agree with you. It should be 130 because my power factor was 134 with factory ammo.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think bumping it up to 130 is probably not a terrible idea. I remember hearing one time on some podcast the reason minor was set at 125 was because of 38 special and revolver.
I can see that.
Because it's such an anemic round. But all the divisions have their own minimum power factor. Why not just do that for revolver and the rest could be something else?
Right. It's kind of one of those times when people try to standardize when you didn't need to standardize. They're like, oh, you're shooting 9mm minor. You must be at this. Oh, you're shooting 38 special minor. You're at this.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And the popper. The other part was poppers, figuring out how much force was needed to knock them over.
Oh, right. Popper calibration.
Hey, you wouldn't need to worry as much about.
You should just get rid of.
Right, you wouldn't need to worry as much about it because everyone would be using adult-sized loads instead of mouse farts.
Yeah. I got a doozy email in my USPS email. Okay. It's a rules thing. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, though. But anyway, okay. Any other stuff did we miss? We're light on show tonight. I'm also really tired.
Yeah.
I'm kind of exhausted. I got to go to work tomorrow.
Well, and we are probably going to run into a little bit that our season's done.
There's less to talk about. Yeah, for sure.
Until SHOT Show.
Until SHOT Show. Until Christmas.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there was somebody posted a whole thing about rain gear. I didn't see that. Oh, and the company that has the pasters. Oh shit, I forgot. I got 2 messages from people about the blackout pasters.
Yeah,
what they're called. This is such great pod. Us looking on our phones.
Cloak and Dagger Solutions.
Cloak and Dagger Solutions. That's who it was.
Pasters with the Alpha Repair.
Yep.
They got tagged, and so they said hello.
Oh.
In that thread.
Yeah. And you can buy them on Amazon. How handy is that? Yeah, they look like a good thing. I forgot what my point was, though.
That I need to be prepared for when I bring something up in the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, the thing about rain gear, I'm one of those old dudes that Andy referred to who goes around the country to RO matches. Being old, I couldn't be bothered to find the original post, so here goes. I pack my range gear to be ready for most any condition because I don't like to repack for every trip. The key for me is layers. My gear cart is packed with warm layers, sweatshirt, light jacket, gloves, and watch cap, which work in any condition I want to be shooting in. I don't have high-tech warm rain gear because all those layers already provide the warmth. Instead, I've got a Frog Tog rain suit that rolls up very nicely, can go over my top warm layers. Yeah, the hunting rain gear is meant for it being cold as well. You will sweat your balls off with that shit on. An umbrella. Umbrellas work really good, just out of the rain. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of umbrellas. And a poncho, which I rarely use, but it goes over the top of my shooting gear and is easier than the rain suit. Other than a watch cap, it all comes off before I shoot. If it's cold enough to require warm layers while shooting, I'll just RO. Well. Oh, that was Brian. Yeah. So there's that. And... yeah. Oh, somebody we had a bunch of random posts in the Reddit this week. FAL concealed carry. God, that's funny when people do that. Yeah, okay. I think we did enough.
Yeah.
I'm tired, and I didn't even finish my whiskey.
That's how you know you're tired.
Yeah, I'm tired. Oh, by the way, I think Steven is going to end up quitting USPSA. Just, if that was a bet I could have made in Deadwood, I would take the over on that.
I worry about him too.
Because he's out there.
Child.
He posted in competition. He's out there practicing. Everybody else is watching football or enjoying, time with family during the off season, and he's out there practicing all by himself because no one will go with him because it's the off season. Steven, we're worried about you.
Because it's 25-yard partials. It's not
and
even
he was doing like
shit.
crazy hard shit that takes too long to set up. Yeah, no, thank you. I'm good. All right. I got to butcher a deer tomorrow. I'm so excited for that, too. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. Oh, by the way, Not Another Shooting Show on Patreon. Patreon.com/Not Another Shooting Show. See, I screwed it all up. This is the kind of quality you get the day before Thanksgiving, folks. You get tired dudes. Patreon.com/Not Another Shooting Show. For just $3.57 a month, you get an extra show every week that... The Patreon episode this week will be higher quality than this one, guaranteed. Because I will be rested by the time we record that one, because it won't be tonight. That is for sure. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show.